Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, September 15th, 2016. I'm Lathryn Fraser with the details. The Vincentian traveling public has been promised an improved service from regional air carrier Liat following a meeting on Wednesday between government and Liat officials here. A media release from the Prime Minister's office on Wednesday's meeting stated that both parties were satisfied with the outcome of the discussions. It stated that Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who headed the government delegation, highlighted a number of challenges being faced by the traveling public, including lack of information on delays and cancellation of flights, management not adhering to decisions made by shareholders. The release further stated that in an effort to resolve the challenges raised, apart from being apologetic to the traveling public, in particular the SVG football team, Liat's management has agreed to the following: to review the scheduled flights in and out of SVG within 1 week, to notify the airport authorities by 9 p.m. about extensions beyond the operating hours of the airport, to review the turnaround time of aircraft with a view to reducing the delays in operation of flights, to consider favorably a return of the direct Puerto Rico SVG flight, and to improve customer service by providing more information to the traveling public in relation to flight delays and cancellations. It was also advised of the addition of a 10th ATR aircraft, that's a 720-seater, to Liat's fleet by early November 2016, which will help to ease the demand for additional seats throughout Liat's network. Another Liat team is said to have also held discussions with the management of the Argyle International Airport in preparation for operations out of Argyle. Credit unions here and across the region have been urged to establish a natural disaster fund. This call came today by Minister of National Mobilization Frederick Stevenson at the 14th Annual OECS Credit Union Summit. Stevenson spoke on several issues such as climate change and highlighted the need for developmental support of grant funding, which he stated can be sought jointly to address the said issues and their impact on key stakeholders across the OECS sub-region. The National Mobilization Minister spoke on the recent natural disasters which have caused havoc here. He noted that the need for support to assist persons in adopting a sense of normalcy after a disaster. Stevenson said the credit unions have been a key player in this regard.
The 2013 Christmas floods here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the passage of Tropical Storm Erica in Dominica in 2015 highlights the need for recovery and humanitarian support whenever these natural disasters occur. And those of you who were there last night would remember that you lay in your beds or you're up for discussions, you see the lightnings and you heard the thunders. I thought that we were coming back to 2013. The time is right for various credit union leagues to establish a regional natural disaster fund from which some support could be provided to victims of such natural occurrences. These are some of the innovations as a people in the sub-region we must create and support for generations to come.
He further urged credit unions to continue to provide accountability and transparency to their customers. Meantime, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who served as the keynote speaker, spoke on matters of the credit union's financial growth and stability.
You have to run the credit unions so well, and you have to work with the regulators to make sure that you contribute to financial sector stability. Because if you don't, it will affect the money which we have inside of the credit union. It will affect the financial system as a whole. Once upon a time, it didn't matter. But now, the credit unions matter in a systemic sense. So you have to bear in mind all these issues of financial sector stability.
This is the third time SVG is hosting the Credit Union Summit. With just one day before the shutting down date, Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis is denying claims that the Planning Board is being hard and fast with its decision to order the closure of the Chill Spot Bar and Grill. On Tuesday's radio program, ULP Speaks, Minister Francis explained that the Physical Planning Board has been in correspondence with the proprietor since 2014 on his failure to follow requisite guidelines. Minister Francis said permission was given by the Planning Board for the proprietor, Lance Oliver, to have a parking lot in front of his rent and drive business, but over time this space was unlawfully transformed into the Chill Spot Bar and Grill. He said that the major concern has always been the excessive traffic and illegal parking in front of the business place, which leads directly onto the main road.
But every day, every night, this is ignored. And residents in the area who live at the back, who travel that road, it is the easiest way to get to the large development and residential area in the back of Annesville. And all persons who are accustomed using that road going across there have complained of the inconvenience of having to endure more traffic and getting into quarrels and fights with persons who have parked illegally and blocking passage. Two vehicles can't pass there. In fact, when vehicles are parked there illegally, it is difficult to pass.
The Transport and Works Minister called on persons to respect procedures which were effected for proper development, since insubordination brings anarchy.
If we start losing respect for these types of bodies and institutions set up by statute, we will go to anarchy without anybody in charge and everybody doing what they want to do. It cannot operate like that. We have a situation in Kingston now with vending that has to be brought under control. I have hit it twice and pulled off, not pulled off, but other things overtook. The funds that are necessary to do it did not come. But we have a situation that is out of hand and getting further out of hand, and we have to rein it in. And
The owner of the Chill Spot Bar and Grill, Lance Oliver, was served with a notice from the Planning Board to cease operations by tomorrow, September 16th. Health concerns have been raised by some residents because of the excessive smoke emanating from barbecue grills and the heavy traffic to and from the business, while the Planning Board has also raised its own concerns with the construction of the outlet and the dual use to which the site has been put. Meanwhile, Executive Director of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce, Tony Regisford, also called for a resolution as it relates to businesses operating in the Annesville residential area, particularly the Chill Spot Bar and Grill. The Executive Director of the Chamber also highlighted the need for regulation compliance at all times.
I would hope that Chill Spot can be back in business, fairly shortly, but as we're talking about compliance, yes, they need to comply to whatever is being requested of them. And I'm sure that what is being requested in this instance is more so one of health, the health standards. It's very important. And I go to say, whether you operate in a residential area or not, when you're operating in a residential area, it's even more important, obviously. Which brings up the question of zoning. And where do you carry out certain types of business? Because some businesses are going to give off more or create more hazards, as it were, than others.
And this country will join 196 countries around the world in observing the International Day for the Preservation of the Ozone Layer, also known as World Ozone Day, this Friday, September 16, 2016. The theme for 2016 is Ozone and Climate Restored by a World United, complemented by the tagline, Working Toward Reducing Global Warming, HFCs, under the Montreal Protocol. This special date marks the day in 1987 2007 when the Montreal Protocol was signed and is intended to spread awareness about the depletion of the ozone layer and the work being undertaken to combat this problem. To commemorate the occasion, this Sustainable Development Unit within the Ministry of Economic Planning, Sustainable Development, Industry, Information and Labor will undertake a number of activities, including the airing of an educational video on the causes of ozone depletion and possible solutions for ozone layer protection on the Agency for Public Information and on SVG-TV during the week of celebration between the hours of 8 to 9 p.m. Also on Friday the 16th, the local newspapers will carry highlights of major achievements of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines since its ratification of the Montreal Protocol, along with other key information as it relates to ozone depletion and protection. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment, as part of its commemoration of Caribbean Wellness Day, held a Family Fun Day on Saturday, September 10th at the Victoria Park. Persons at the event were exposed to various sporting activities conducted by members of the sports department and the BeFit movement. SVG-TV's Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Of Caribbean Wellness Day observed on Saturday, September 10, 2016 under the theme Healthy Children, Healthy Environment. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment embarked on a series of activities to celebrate and promote healthy lifestyles in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. At their Family Fun Day last Saturday, the ministry provided families with the opportunity to partake in various exercises and games conducted by members of the BeFit movement as well as the sports department. Noting that the fun day was aimed at promoting healthy children and families through physical activities, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Louis Deschamps, commended the work of the ministry as well as its partners in implementing such a great initiative.
That we actually started with the children, because if we could get them off the ground from their stage of life, that they could understand and appreciate the need to be healthy, to exercise, to eat properly, then when they get to my age, then that they're not going to be actually suffering from all the different NCDs that we see happening today in St. Vincent. And I'm happy that there are many persons here this afternoon. We have welcomed persons on the BeFit movement and also members of staff and other individuals in the society, and we're happy that they have actually taken this thing very seriously, and we want to make sure that we could offset hypertension and diabetes, and we're urging people to walk, to run, to exercise, whatever you want to do to stay fit.
Representative from the Sports Department, Khalil Keto, suggested that activities such as the Family Fun Day should be implemented within the Vincentian Society in order to promote a healthier country.
It's an excellent idea, and I think it needs to be more than just a one-off. We don't need to wait on Caribbean Wellness Day to come around. I think that different groups or organizations can organize their own little fun days, have their, be it at the workplace, be it in communities, church groups, even schools, they can designate particular days to just have people, the entire family come out and just be a part of the activity.
Commending the ministry for its foresight and attempts in increasing the involvement of the nation's youths in physical activities, representative from the BeFit movement, Lyndon James, reminded persons that it was possible to have fun while exercising and staying fit.
Old people say once children gravitate into something, that means it's something very good you are doing. I'm happy for the appointment to show the world that fitness can really get you somewhere. I really like the work ethic of everyone, which shows that once you do fun things when you're walking out, it can take you a long way. These people walking out very hard and they don't even realize how hard they're walking out.
The Family Fun Day will be followed by visitations to various primary schools throughout St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where body mass index, BMIs, and free play and fitness testing with kindergarten and grade 1 students will be conducted. The data from these tests will then be shared at a symposium with principals and other teaching staff. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Residents of Fitzhugh are still in a state of shock and despair following the discovery of a newborn baby found in a pit in the community on Wednesday afternoon at around 1 p.m. Reports are that the child may be that of a 33-year-old who is already a mother. One resident told SVG-TV News that the mother in question was suspected of being pregnant but never confirmed that to anyone. However, it was noted that moments before the incident, she seemed somewhat unsettled.
come back. She said, oh God, mommy, baby, they're ball in the toilet. And I saw everybody start to run, but we never see mother because she left a good time and go away.
Left to go where?
We don't know, but they get she a time after and carry she by the hospital.
Another resident divulged that the alleged mother is an alcoholic and sometimes suffered from a mental disorder. Reports are that both mother and child are currently hospitalized.
Do you know if the baby is still alive?
Yes.
Do you know if it's full term?
Yes.
Or it's premature?
It is a full term.
From the looks of it?
Yes.
So
she go off, she got no breakdown about 2-3 times. So I don't know if she get breakdown and when she get the treatment she do that.
With the issue of delinquent fathers being frequently discussed, coordinator of the National Family Planning Department, Arletha Scott, reiterated that mothers should not have to be complaining to their children about a lack of support of any kind. She urged men to be more than fathers who give financial aid to their children, but to be a daddy who is always there.
I think fathers have a very important role to play in their children's life, not just to say that they are fathers, but also to do the necessary that they're supposed to do. And as Mr. Campbell rightfully said, children are supposed to be behind their fathers for them to actually give them. The mere fact that you give the sperm is enough for you to give the finance also. And my encouragement would be that the fathers out there who are not doing it, don't just be a father, but be a daddy to the children. And being a daddy means that you, in all aspects, whether physically, socially, spiritually, financially, or mentally.
Scott also noted that the presence of the father positively impacts a child's life, as she has observed that children display a higher sense of maturity, self-discipline, and a sense of security when a father is involved in the life of his child.
A single parent, and the father is not involved, because there are single parents where fathers are involved. But the single parents where the father not involved, the children tend to be rebellious, let me put it that way. Even though mommy talk, they tend to figure, well, it's just mommy, so. But when the father is there, even though he's not present, and he gives his command, they tend to. So the fathers really need to step up and come up to bars, not just by saying is my child. Be a man of action and not a man of words.
President of the Teachers Union, Oswald Robinson, says he was quite impressed with Minister of Education St. Clair Jimmy Prince's speech to usher in the new school term. Robinson said that despite the challenges of the education sector, he was also pleased that the Education Minister highlighted the importance of high morale.
It's a very good way to start the term, very diplomatic and straightforward to the point, and I appreciate that, and I hope that all the stakeholders would really reflect what he would have said, and that would help to more or less motivate and instill a new sense of direction for the school term. So I really appreciate that. But I also want to use this opportunity to wish all the stakeholders in education all the best, the teachers who continue to work hard despite our low salaries. And we know there are some conditions at work which still need some improvement, but we are going to be patient and watch and see what happens. We don't want to create any disturbance right now, but we want to see things unfold very smoothly. Let us know of any issues so that we would have meetings with the relevant authority.
The Teachers Union president also called on everyone, especially fathers, to support children in their studies.
So all the best to everybody, the parents. Make sure that you stay focused, you support your children, and especially the fathers. We need to come on board and give support to your children so that they too would grow up with this respect for the male factor in our society. And we want to wish all the students, especially those who will be writing CPA, CXC this school year, we want to wish them every success.
And And in news of charity work, the St. Matthias Charities, Inc., an organization which has been doing charitable work in SVG and other neighboring countries, continues to make donations of crucial medical supplies to hospitals and health centers across SVG. Founder and president of St. Matthias Charities, Incorporated, Robert McBarnett, said his organization recently brought in a 40-foot container of medical supplies and equipment, including 3 anesthesia machines, a sonogram, EKG machines, as well as canes, crutches, and walkers to be distributed to various medical centers throughout the state. McBarnett noted that his organization worked along with other entities and individuals to source the supplies and will make a special effort to get medical supplies to the rural communities of SVG.
On this mission, we have 150 sheets for the Milton Cato Medical Memorial Hospital, and those sheets were donated by Mr. Von Tony in New York and Casago, the group Casago. We even contribute to those sheets. We contribute, other folks in New York put together to pull these sheets together to donate to the hospital. So we'll be handing them over along with the 3 anesthesia machine, the sonogram machine, and the EKG machine, and the other supplies that we sent. We already sent 4 truckloads to Milton Cato, and as you can see in the back, we have more crutches and cane and so on. And we covered all the clinics in the country, and we are looking to reach the clinics down in the Grenadines.
McBarnett said they have been working along with a number of organizations in order to reach the less fortunate of SVG.
Our goal is to reach the less fortunate. We are working with the Louis Ponette Home. We are working with Milton with mental health. We are also working to reach the geriatric population, like the elderly. Some folks might be in need of a cane or a walker, pampers, and so on. We are also doing the community in terms of pots and pans and whatever little food we can distribute. Our goal is to cover the entire country all the way down in the Grenadines. And we are also working in Grenada. We just sent about $20,000 US worth of medical to Grenada. We did a mission in Grenada last year, and we also did a mission into St. Vincent with 2 EKG machines last year.
5 students will benefit from Digicel Scholarships, which forms part of the company's Back to School Scholarship campaign. The campaign, which ran for 1 month, climaxed today with a total of $3,000 being donated to 2 primary and 3 secondary school students. The winners of the Digicel Scholarships are Kelsey Cyrus of Georgetown, who is a grade 5 student at the Sandy Bay Government School, Rashid Wiseman of Sharpsdale, a grade 5 student of the Kingstown Anglican School, Johnny Chambers of Barrowley and a Form 1 student of the Barrowley Secondary School, Ossian Harris of Beckway and a 2nd form student at the Beckway Seventh-day Adventist, and Alejandro Martin of Arnesvale, who is a 4th form student at the St. Joseph's Convent, Mariquois. The winners and their parents all thanked Digicel for the cash contribution and investing in their education, adding that the cash will go a long way towards still being purchased school items.